Hi, Aries Sun and Rising. Welcome to your October 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So, this is a month that begins in Libra season. And as you probably know, Libra is your opposite sign. So, this affects your seventh house of committed partnership. And there can be issues that come up with this. Um, and also, you're going to have a full moon in your sign, which will form an opposition with that seventh house as well. So let's start from the beginning. On the second of the month, we have a solar eclipse at 10 degrees of Libra. This falls in your seventh house, although for some of you, this may be in your sixth house. You'll have to consult your personal chart to do so, to find out. This is a general reading, so I'm just looking at it in terms of the signs that are involved, not the degrees. Okay. And with this solar eclipse, so a solar eclipse is a powerful new moon, so this can really charge up your area of committed partnership. And but it is going to form a conjunction with your south node. So there is this issue of karmic relationships also cropping up at the same time. So this is something to be aware of, because let's say that you are coupled right now and you happen to meet someone in this time period. And if you're listening in September, that could even be when this is active for you, or in November, it could be active. In this general vicinity of time, if you meet somebody new and you really feel like, I'm going to marry this person, even though you're already married, it could be that your current relationship has run its course, and maybe you had a soul contract with that person and you were meant to marry them. You might not have a very pleasant relationship, or, it's possible that you have a pleasant relationship with that person, but it's no longer relevant. You no longer have a reason to be with that individual because you're not karmically tied to that person any longer. And so that can drop off, and, this new possibility comes in. Now, I'm not saying that you're already seeing somebody. This is just a potential for, an activation, if you will, for somebody to cross your path that is marriage material, or you could say life partner material. This can also activate any kind of, like, if you have one-on-one clients and things like that, that can be very good for that. So just keep that in mind for that solar eclipse. On the 9th, Jupiter goes retrograde at 21 degrees of Gemini in your third house. And so this can be connected to anything related to your ethics, your values. The third house can be the mind. And so you may be really thinking things, going within about things, because you having Jupiter in the third house can be particularly emphasizing, like, teaching, for instance, or writing. So let's say you are an aspiring teacher, or like journalist, that kind of thing, and then you're in these professions. You've had Jupiter here for several months, and maybe you've benefited from it, but then you're thinking, wait a second, I don't like how these professions are operating, and you're questioning the ethics behind it. For instance, Jupiter retrograde can be revisiting opportunities. Perhaps this is in the area of teaching or even learning something. meditation training or teaching or learning much. That's one of the things I can think of connected to this retrograde. On the 11th, Pluto goes direct at 29 degrees of Capricorn in your house of career, Aries. So wow, just wow. And it will be going back into that 11th house of the collective, as well as, gains through your salary, things like that, on November 19th. So from the 11th of October until the 19th of November, you're going to have this Pluto direct in the 29th degree in your 10th house of career. So that could actually be quite good. It can be quite empowering for something connected to your success. Obviously, this is a general reading because for some of you, you may have a little bit of Aquarius in that 10th house as well. And Pluto hasn't even gone into your 11th house. So I'm just being more general about this. On the 13th, Mercury goes into Scorpio in your 8th house. And this is the house of like astrology, the tarot. They call it occult, but it's like, can be metaphysics and, deep thinking. But this is the house of other people's money. So there might be, and by the way, if there is some kind of spiritual studies that you're embarking upon, this could be directly connected to that. But otherwise, it might be like a will that comes into your conscious awareness that there's some kind of a document. Mercury can be documents, paperwork, dealing with other people's money that you have to take care of or pay attention to in some way. This this is the house of shadow work. So gaining insight into your psychological nature can be featured at this time. It's very intense in the thinking, for sure. On the 17th, Venus goes into Sagittarius. So that's the 9th house for you. That trines your sun or ascendant. And that can be good for anything to do with foreign travel, for instance, and higher education. There might be money that some of you receive for higher education or for any kind of religious studies that you wish to undertake. This is great for having pleasure, like traveling for pleasure, traveling, learning a foreign language as something pleasurable. Venus is about pleasure. Love with a foreigner, love with somebody of a different race or nationality, that kind of thing. And on the same day, there's a full moon in your sign. So that's very interesting because Aries, this is going to mean that the sun is in the 7th house of committed partnership. So I feel like, when you have this opposition between the 1st and 7th houses like that, it really brings this kind of polarity about the self versus the other. And there can be, especially for an Aries person, like you ruled the 1st house in astrology, where this full moon is taking place. It is possible that for some of you, you might even take the plunge where, you look at yourself and you say, you know what, I've been single long enough. I've had my quote unquote freedom for long enough. Now I'm going to become part of a coupledom. And this is especially true because that solar eclipse, did I even mention the solar eclipse? Yeah, I think I did, right? That's going to be in your 7th house. Yeah, I mentioned that. But yeah, because of that, it might be this situation where it nudges you into committing with someone. Uh, I meant committing to someone when you might have been ambivalent before, where you might have been kind of on the fence. I'm not so sure that I want to do this. This is scary to me. This is new for me. Or I've done this before and it didn't work out. What's going to make this time different? So it's one of those things where for some people, this is about learning more about yourself. When you have a full moon in your own sign, it could be like some kind of a revelation that you have about your needs, about your basic nature that maybe you were not really considering, and therefore you were neglecting a very important part of what you are all about. So it can go either way. But this is a time when you may be letting something go from your life. That is a possibility. One thing I think is neat about this, it's at 24 degrees even of Aries. And in numerology, unless it's a master number, you add up those numbers. And 2 plus 4 equals 6. And 6 is ruled by Venus, is connected to Venus. So that, kind of like makes me think of love, of being in love and being committed to love in some cases. On the 22nd, the sun goes into Scorpio, into the 8th house, and that is more intensity. We have Mercury there. You're already kind of like diving deep, and you have the sun there now as well. And this can make you more secretive. Usually Aries people are open books and they will just tell everybody their business. When you have Mercury here, you might like keep things under your vest, and the sun is here just involved in matters that are 8th house, that can be other people's money and your own personal transformation, that sort of thing. So that's what I have for you, Aries. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. I hope you have a great month. Take care. Bye.